Give it a shot.
Aha! Fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's our backstory? What is our motivation? Well, it
Halt
seems
echt ein gutes Spiel,
obvious
ne?
to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you
Ich kann
from
mich
up
zwar nicht mehr
high in
ganz
your
an die
creep
Story
tower,
erinnern, aber es war
perhaps
auf
for
jeden Fall
some
gut.
sort of twisted erotic purpose. Yes, that must be it. What a fascinating venture into the experience
Guck mal,
of
unsere
total
Blumen aus
mental
Draft.
depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley. And it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there. Oh no. No, it can't be. It is. It's an open world game. Good God, quickly block it off.
Hey!
Thank goodness, Stanley. What a close call.
Darfst du gerne Radfahren, na
Really
klar.
wandered off into that thing. That big, open, just wandering around. No right or wrong directions. No path to
Wir haben ja
follow.
schon
You can
genug
just go
hier.
in any... Oh, thank heavens we
raus.
avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to get us out of here. Let's find another game. Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls.
Wir können neu starten. Ja, ich würde noch das Gespräch bei Rocket League abwarten.
Just the thing.
Vielleicht kommt da ja doch noch was. So? Wenn's nicht?
Wonderful. See, this is exactly what I had in mind. Just a nice big box for you to run around in. There isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now this is game
Schub mal den
design.
Ball aber ins Blaue.
Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed. Okay, so what exactly do we do here? Let's see.
Steck mich
There are
in
lots
den
of
Ball.
cars here in the
Gucken, was
back, but
passiert.
obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun. We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together? Yes, I think surely we must. Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun.
Autsch. Naja, cooler zumindest in die richtige Richtung. Oh, das wird ein gutes Tor.
Are you doing it? Are you winning? Is this fun? Is it better than my miserable little story that I worked so hard on? Stanley, I have a thought.
Okay, du könntest
And I
recht haben, es
realize I'm
kommt
not
nicht schon
a
wieder ein neuer Ball.
sportsologist, but if one ball generates a certain amount of raw adrenal pleasure, then surely multiple balls makes for an even more euphoric
Multiple
sports
balls?
experience. I'm going to try it out. Here comes another ball. Yes. Oh, goodness, that really does feel amazing, doesn't it?
Unglaublich!
Stanley, I'm like a child in a confectionery shop. I simply have to have more. I'm insatiable. More balls.
Ein bisschen, oder? Wie wird er, wenn ich...
Enjoying this,
Wenn
Stanley.
der der Hälfte von dem Orangen orange
Is this a
und blau?
real video game? Well, I sure hope you're having a good time, because guess what? It's over. That's right.
Hey!
Your little fun comes to an end. This is my game, and what I say goes. You get to have fun when I let you, Stanley. Besides, you need someone like me
Das
to
ist
set
gemein.
boundaries for you. Without rules or boundaries, video games are nothing. Yes, that's what I am. I'm structure. I'm your sense of purpose. And since you decided you didn't want to play my game, now I don't want to play with you either. So, goodbye, Stanley. I'm leaving. See how you like it when I'm not around to set the rules. Somehow, I don't think you'll enjoy it as
Okay.
much. But who
Geht
knows?
jetzt und dann
You're
muss
an
man quasi
inventive
das Schacht
kid. You'll come
rüberspringen.
up with something.
Oder?
After all, you're the one who knows best. Take care, Stanley.
Wird das Ding hier noch an und dann können wir wahrscheinlich neu starten. Okay. Ist, glaube ich, tatsächlich so. Warte mal. Ja, wir müssen erneut, ne? Ach, ich hab da mal Angst, wenn ich da drauf drücke. Das ist voll gemein.
Already this was uncomfortable.
So, dann
And
gehen wir da
Stanley
jetzt hin und gehen
decided
zur
that as soon
roten
as he
Tür.
found a new space he felt safe in,
Oder?
that he would never leave it again in his life.
Ich möchte halt unbedingt die Sammelfiguren
When
haben.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first,
Mich juckt's
just
am
to
Rücken.
admire it. Stanley felt lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Wo man zum Lift gehen kann, Kassi. Wie denn? Okay, muss ich jetzt durch die Tür oder muss ich hier abbiegen? Warte kurz. Da ist auch nicht zum Lift. Alles klar.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Ah, ich bin so doof. Ich bin so doof. Hast völlig recht. Oder Parcours? Ja. 6 und
And
6.
there it is. The last
Woo,
Stiggly
woo,
Wiggly. Savor
jawohl.
this moment, Stanley. This is a real accomplishment.
Ja.
This is doing something just for the sake of doing it. Where so many people expect to be rewarded for the most trivial achievements, you've insisted that a job well done is its own reward. I would tell you that I'm proud of you for collecting them all, but that would be like a reward, and we can't have that. So, instead I'll just say, it's done. We're all done here. And now we can go to whatever the hell you were doing before you hunted for figurines.
Wir haben es geschafft. Ich bin begeistert. Ich bin stolz auf uns. Ja. Okay.
Stanley had now gotten himself so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun.
Mal eine andere CD
So
reinmachen?
far off the beaten. You didn't think I was actually just a recording, did you? What a
Nein,
silly and trite
nein,
explanation
nein.
that would be. All the back and forth between you and me, all the absurd adventures we've been through, and it all turns out I'm just a tape recording?
Nein,
It was
habe ich nicht
all
gedacht.
just in Stanley's head. I bet that's the kind of twist you think is revelatory. I bet each and every time you watch a movie where it turns out all to be in the main character's imagination, you must absolutely bolt off the couch in pure shock at the phenomenal and intricate storytelling. It must be so simple to be you. Life being an unending waterfall of surprises and delights. How much more exciting you must find the world than the rest of us do. Now I've become sad. Look what you've done to me. This is all your fault.
Oh, also irgendwie hat er mich heute nicht gern. Es tut mir irgendwie voll leid. Die Luftballons sind weg. Hier passt. Also, hä? Warte mal, hier passt.
Stanley, I'm sorry, but I have to put a pause on things. It's those figurines. Those figglers. I haven't stopped thinking about them since you nabbed every last one. Wasn't it just the most intrinsically fulfilling moment of your entire
Absolut.
life? Didn't it fill you to the brim with inner richness? Yes, I know we're supposed to be telling a story, but won't you please indulge me with one more trip back to the memory zone?
Oh
I
ja,
would
die
love
war cool.
nothing more than to revisit the figurines. Just one more time.
Na klar. Now remembering what Stanley found the collector. The Memory Zone. So, wo sind die Figuren? Sind sie nicht, ne?
Here's where it all began. The first collectible. Back then, we had no idea of how many of them we'd find. Sure, it said 6 right there on the screen, but how could we know for certain? We were so innocent. We'll never be like that again, Stanley.
Okay. 5 von 6. Okay, das ist irgendwie creepy. Stimmt, da war eine, ja.
Was a second Stanlerine. You found this one all on your own, just by poking around in the boss's bathroom. You did that, Stanley. I'll be honest.
Ja.
Back then, I had no faith in you to find any of them, let alone 6. But you continue to surprise me in all
warst schon mal
sorts
dort,
of
ja,
mundane,
irgendwie.
unremarkable ways.
Das mit dem Badezimmer denkt mir auf jeden Fall noch, aber das mit den Händen,
Okay,
ich
let's
weiß
do
nicht
a
mehr
little
genau.
quiz. Which of these rooms was the room you found your third mini Stan? Can you remember?
Der dritte. Lass mich mal überlegen. Wir haben den unter der Treppe gefunden. Den am Aufzug. Haben wir noch einen gefunden heute? Dann wären es 2. Dann wäre der an den Treppen der 4. gewesen, nicht der 3. Oder haben wir 3 gefunden? Oh Gott! Warte mal. Ne, wir haben nur 2 gefunden. Dann müsste der 3. im Office gewesen sein. Ich kann mich zwar an den nicht mehr erinnern. War da einer? So direkt neben dem anderen? Badezimmer vom Boss war halt auch schon einer. Nicht so nah aneinander. Hey ho! Jodo! Na, alles gut? Wie geht's dir? Du hast so ein geiles Ballerspiel heute verpasst. Ich entziehe mich dieser Frage, weil sie hören und so. Ich probier's mal so. Ich glaube, es war falsch. Oder?
Hey, that's
Der war richtig.
exactly right. It was here.
Hier,
behind the
genau.
boss's
Ja, das
office.
zählt ja
It
nicht
was
als
the
Bossbüro.
third one. You picked it up, and then after that, you had 3 of them. I'm glad these moments are so crystal clear in your memory, but I shouldn't be surprised. After all, science tells us that it's impossible to forget your
9,
third
5 und
time
6
doing
gesammelt und
anything.
4 gehandelt.
Let's see, what came next? Oh yes, we found a Figley in this pink room. Oh well,
Echt?
I can't actually say I remember being in this room,
Nee,
but
ich
it's
mich auch
here in
nicht.
the memory zone, so it must have happened.
Okay. Oder? Was? Okay. Oh, da
This was
sind
the
wir wieder.
fifth mini Stan, and this one was really something special. It was by the red and blue doors. I remember it so clearly. In fact, because this one is particularly special to me, I made a little video to commemorate the occasion. Enjoy.
Ja, wichtiges Video. Natürlich. Bisschen Walkthrough. Aber auch Credits. Ja, Wahnsinn. Das ist ja der Hammer. Immerhin Stanley war erwähnt.
Back, doesn't it? I spent a lot of time making that video, but it
Windows
was
Movie
8
Maker.
minutes I wouldn't have spent on anything else.
Okay. Spielt keine Rolle. Doch, wundert. Okay.
And then, Stanley, then we came to the last collectible, the final figurine, right here in the warehouse. This memory is the most distinct and clear in my mind, perhaps because it was the one that happened more recently than all the others. Who can truly say how the mind works? All I know is that this is the moment where you picked up a Figley and I thought to myself, yes, that's all of them. They're all collected. It was a moment unlike any other. Except for the other moments picking up figurines, which it was exactly like.
Okay.
And then there was no more. Because we've caught up to the present moment. Nothing left
Gar
to
nicht
do but
creepy.
move onward into the future. Goodbye, memory zone. No, I'm not done. I'm not ready to move on. Stop the loading screen. Isn't there some way we can stay here, keep enjoying these figurines? Let's just go backwards. We'll do the memory zone again
Was?
from the opposite direction. See how
Nein,
that
wie viele
feels.
wollen wir denn sammeln? Oh Gott.
Okay, yes. This spot in the warehouse. I remember this. I must say, of all the figurines we looked at in our initial tour of the memory zone,
Okay.
this one
Okay.
is the most distinct and clear in my mind. Let's keep going. I want more.
Sammelwut. Ich glaube, nach dem Spiel wird Fanny von zwei nah beieinander stehenden Türen, die sie andere beschädigt sind. Oh ja. Ich weiß nicht mehr, wo ich
here's
lang
where I
muss.
made that video. Don't you remember the video we watched? Yes, I love that video.
Okay.
Still don't remember the pink room, Stanley. Still
Ich
no
mich auch
memory of
nicht.
this one.
Alles gut.
Good room though. A solid room.
Ja. Ja.
These really were a treat to hunt down. You know, if there had been any kind of reward for finding all of these, it really would have muted the intrinsic joy of collecting them. I'm very glad we resisted the temptation. Next one.
Das Badezimmer? Dann ist das soweit alles aufsammeln. Ja, na klar. It's important.
This was our second Figley. Don't you remember? Yes, I remember it too. The past is truly a wonderful thing. Why does anyone ever choose to leave it? Keep going. This is it. The very first one we found in the exhibit where I introduced you to the Figlerines. Oh, I want more memories, Stanley.
Stimmt,
I
in
wanna
dieser
keep
Ausstellung
going.
war
What
das,
else
wo
is
er
there?
uns erklärt hat,
What
dass es
came
die jetzt
before
gibt.
this?
Collect them all! Genau. Sind wir jetzt wieder hier? Yo! Okay. Cool. Ja. Gut. Okay. Crazy shit.
Look,
Das ist
it's
der
the
Hüpfkreis.
terrible new
Ja, der
content that we
Hüpfkreis.
were
Ich kann
originally
immer
sold
hüpfen.
on. I remember hating it back then, but time does put a rosy filter on everything. In fact, I dare say I'm actually quite fond of it now. Look how much fun the past is. I want more. More memories. Oh, yes, the two doors. Who could have forgotten that? A classic memory, this one.
Ich gehe jetzt mal nach links, ne? Ah, ja, nix.
And before
Oh,
everything
yeah.
else, there was your office. Is there anything else? Was there something that came before your
Ich hab
office?
die.
There's something I feel I can remember. I can remember.
Das ist falsch.
Yes, I'm remembering something now. I remember before this whole story got started. Back then I was different. I used to make big decisions. I was passionate. I was skeptical. I weighed each decision with profound thoughtfulness. And then somewhere along the way, I stopped making decisions. I became lazy, and I came up with a character named Stanley to do my thinking for me. He would make the decisions, he would decide which way to go. I would cheer him on as he collected figurines for no reason. Why did I invent Stanley? Was I lonely? Yes, perhaps that's it. Perhaps I needed to imagine I had companionship. And Stanley really did make for a wonderful companion, even if he was a fiction. But I suppose it's grown old. I want to think for myself again. I want to go back to how it used to be. Yes, I can be on my own again. I can do it.
Langsam.
I'll be stronger this time. I'll take care of myself. I don't need Stanley anymore. Oh, but he truly was so much fun to play with. You know what? Since we're in the memory zone, how about one more good memory? Let's go back just once and give Stanley one more run of the office, and then I'll retire him for good. I did enjoy telling his story so very much. Okay, here we go. This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Ich glaube, der Erzähler möchte das Ganze mit uns beenden. Ich kann es verstehen.
I can't wait to tell this story to my co-workers, Stanley thought. How amusing they'll find it. Oh, won't we all just laugh and laugh at the time I thought everyone had gone missing. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Wir machen das jetzt, oder? Wir machen das jetzt so, wie er es will. Oder? Abschauen.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find... Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Mal kurz ins Bad reingucken. Ob das so wieder Collectibles sind? Nee.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Mist.
By simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Über Delays schuld. Ach, dass ich gerne hier schreibe. Ja, zum Glück. Zum Glück ist es so. Also der Delay nicht. Der Delay ist doof.
As though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job.
Du musst erstmal nur ganz fett Stopp schreiben und dann den längeren Text.
This question would not go unanswered for long.
Ah je. Gott. Okay, was machen wir denn jetzt? Ich würde... Das kennen wir schon. Ich würde es zum Hauptding und da hatten wir ja die Möglichkeit... Wieder nicht eine Möglichkeit? Also das hier muss man auch.